2026 is almost here and I couldn't be more excited. Of course, for the first setup of this new journal, I had to do some type of academia theme, but this time not so dark, because I want to start my year really softly and slow, and what better theme to do than a mix of florals and academia. I bring you so many useful spreads and ideas that you can use in your own bullet journal. Hello guys, I'm Juliana and welcome back to another video. This year I'm using exclusively brown journals, both for my reading journal, which I actually already did the initial setup if you want to see, and you guys chose this one for my bullet journal. So let's begin. I'm going to use very different things and from various sources, so if you want to buy something, I'll have the links down below in the description as usual. Before we start doing the most fun part, we have to glue that first page. You know, it's that awkward page that doesn't open all the way, and since it's not an entire spread, I'll just glue it down and it will be like it was never there. So I actually didn't really know how to approach this theme. I knew I wanted to do an academia theme, but I didn't want to do another dark academia since I did it in November, but I also didn't know how to do a light academia since I prefer the dark. So I just chose a few random pieces from my stationery stash, and I saw this floral white washi tape. It's really beautiful, and I decided to try and use everything around that tape, so we have now a starting point. And then I just saw what stickers would work well with the color palette, and in the end I ended up with this grayish, beige and brown with pops of green, which honestly I think came out much better than what I was expecting. I used my own idea again and I put washi tape on the entire left page, which is going to be for the numbers of the year, which I'll do in a minute. I really love this layout. I think it's very simple but looks really beautiful because of the intricate design. And on the right page I'm doing a very easy collage, which is not what I usually go for. When I do collages I go all in, I use many different things, but I think that to match this type of aesthetic I had to go somewhat minimalist, and of course this tape is doing most of the heavy lifting on this theme, but I think sometimes using a very eye-catching tape really helps composing a setup. But not all of it, because I have a very exciting thing to show you. Arrtx kindly reached out to me again and sent me their Arrtx Oros 90 alcohol markers to try out with this setup, which I'm going to do, and I have to say I love their boxes. It's a very unique and creative design, it's portable, which is incredible if you want to use them outside of your home, and the markers come in a plastic grid to keep them in place. Also, the top cover of the box doubles as a convenient stand, so you can have easy access to the colors. Inside we have the thank you card as usual, and a coloring sheet so you can try the markers before using them on your drawings, which is always my favorite part. But the box also has a color sheet on the bottom, so if you want to see quickly which are the colors you need, you can do it without even opening the box. So let's start with the coloring sheet. These markers have a dual tip, and on each end we have the number of the color, so it doesn't matter which side is up, you can always see what marker is it. And a cute detail that I love is this scalloped edge around the tip. I don't know why, but I love it. And so we have a chisel tip, perfect to color in bigger spaces more quickly, and a brush tip to color in all the details and reach those corners more easily. As I said before, these are alcohol markers, so they can blend with other colors, contrary to water-based markers, and the alcohol-based ink dries out quickly without blotches or smudges, which for me is very important. And also, it doesn't fade easily. You can use them to create different effects on your designs, such as a smooth gradient, you can use them for shading, and you can even create more colors by mixing the markers. This alcohol set comes with 90 colors in total, including one black, one white, a variety of skin tones, and other basic color families. It's super versatile for daily use across different scenarios, whether it's sketching, hand lettering, or even craft projects. And a detail that most people don't care about, but I think it's really important, is the shape of the marker. This one has a triangular cylindrical pen body design. It's much more comfortable on your hands and fingers when you hold the marker, and it also is very smooth. So you can draw for a long period of time and not make your hands feel tired. Another standout feature is its blending performance. The ink flows naturally, and when blending the colors, there are no harsh edges. So to demonstrate markers and the blending, before I do it in my setup, I decided to draw a few Christmas doodles, since we are approaching Christmas time, and this way you can see them in action and see all the different colors in different designs. I decided to draw a snowman, a Christmas tree, an ornament, a snowflake, and a little word, and I'm going to use different color palettes on each drawing, and as I go, I'm going to tell you on the screen which marker I'm using. So if you want to recreate it later, you can see what colors I used, and use this video as a tutorial of sorts. Now, I didn't really draw them really well. I wanted to just show you the markers and how they perform, so I figured that a few doodles were perfect for it. This tree is the perfect example of the blending. Even with the different shades of green, it blended so smoothly. My technique is always start with the lighter color, because you can always go darker, but you can go back to lighter, and then use the darker color on the places you want the shade to be. Then, to make it blend really smoothly, I go over it with the lighter color while it's still wet, and I let it dry. Then for the snowman, I used a very pastel color palette, so you can see the lighter colors of this pack. Then for the tree, of course, I had to go green. For the snowflake, I used lighter blues. For the ornament, I used red. For the present, I used dark blues. And for the word, I used pinks, because not everyone likes the traditional Christmas colors like red and green. Some people like to decorate in pastel colors, others like it more white and gold, or even rainbow style. So I just decided to use the pinks, and it's also a way to try the pinks of these markers. Sometimes I use 3 different markers to create a smooth transition between the colors. I pick a light, a dark, and an in-between color to create the shading. For example, on the word, I used a light pink for the base, then I used the medium color to start the shading, and then I went again with the darker color to define better the shadow placement. And then to create a transition, I go over it with the medium and then the lighter color. It's easier to see than to explain, but I think you can see clearly what I'm doing back and forth. My favorites of these doodles are definitely the tree and the word. I think the blending turned out beautiful, and even though I'm a very traditional Christmas girly, I decorate in green, red and gold colors, I really liked the pink color palette. And that's it for these Christmas doodles. They are very cute in my opinion, so if you want to recreate them using these markers, I'm going to leave down below in the description their official website, together with all the links that they have for many different countries, and perhaps a discount code, so go check it out. Okay, and now that I showed you all the colors of the markers, I can tell you which ones I'm using for the titles on this setup. To really create a focal point, I decided to use the left page as a background, and I drew very big numbers in my sticker paper, so now I can color in the numbers. When using alcohol markers, you can't use them in your journal pages directly because it will bleed through. That's just the nature of an alcohol-based ink. So if you want to still use them in your journals, you can draw on a separate piece of paper, it can be regular printer paper, and then stick it to the page. I started number 2 with other markers, but I didn't like the results, so I'm just going to do it again with other colors. This sticker paper doesn't help with the spreading of the ink. It's a paper problem, it doesn't hold the ink in place, but as I went I came up with a solution to that, and it's basically just coloring in not all the way through to the outline because the ink will do it for me. But it's not the end of the world because I'm going to cut around the numbers anyway on the outline, so I'm not leaving any white border around them. I chose these grayish beige colors to color in the numbers and to match the color palette of this theme, but they don't really catch your attention, so to make it pop against the background, I'm using an acrylic paint marker, also from Arrtx, to draw an outline directly on the washi tape, because the paint markers can be used in many surfaces, and this is a great way to bring your attention back to the numbers. Now with the cover spread done, we can move on to the next one, which is going to be for my quote page and my index. You guys know that I love my quotes, so I couldn't give up on that page. And to start, I'm using the washi tape again as a background, but this time I'm leaving a space in the middle for my actual functional part, which is the index. Yes, doing this takes time, but I think it looks beautiful in the end. And then to define the rectangle, I'm using the brown pen again to do the outline. The index is not a very important page for me, but since I wanted to do the quote page, I needed a page next to it that would make sense in the beginning of the setup, and since the journal has numbered pages, I decided to choose the index. It's not a useful page and I don't go back to it a lot, but I think it looks good in the overall setup. For this theme, I wanted to mix and match the way I did the titles, since in some pages I don't have enough space for big words, so I'm using my alphabet stamps with a brown ink pad for the smaller titles, and I'm also doing the big words with the alcohol markers. So for this quote I chose, "To a new chapter, may it be the best written yet." I think this quote is really fun and it matches the vibe of this theme, since the cover page had a girl with books and things like that, so I think overall it was a good quote to choose. And I stamped all the words on my sticker paper, and I did the meaningful ones with the alcohol markers, which were chapter and best. I'm really keeping the decoration to the minimum and it really helps with the aesthetic. So I just put this elevator on the bottom corner and that's it for this spread. The next one is my future log, and I'm using these calendar stickers to help me because the only spread that I don't love doing is this one because of all the tiny numbers that I have to write. So these stickers are definitely a lifesaver. I just cut the title on top of them because I'm using stamps to create each monthly title. This spread is used kinda like your phone calendar. You have each month of the year. In this case, I only have until June because that's how long a journal lasts for me. And then I have a little space next to each month to write any upcoming event. In here I write birthdays, so I know beforehand when they are coming. I also write events that I'm going to attend, holidays, it can be many things. And also when I set up the month later on, I can check this spread and transfer all the information to the calendar on the specific month. I started stamping January, but then I remembered that I wanted to use these specific stamps, so I covered it up with the title. Then I just did a second line highlighter beside each month to define a little better the space where I'm supposed to write, and then I just stamped the future log title and decorated a little bit each side. This is a very easy spread to set up, and it's one of my most useful ones on the entire setup. So I highly recommend doing this one if you are starting your own bullet journal. So now let's move on. We have a very similar page to the future log, and it serves the same purpose. This is for the rest of the year, so from July to December, and even though the journal only lasts me until June, sometimes I already have something planned for the later months of the year, so this way I can still record that information and use it later on another journal. For the right page, we have a bingo. I really liked my reading journal bingo, so since I wanted to make my initial setup a little more fun to use and not be just functional, I decided to also create a bingo for 2026. In here I made space for 24 prompts, and I made some of them easier for me to accomplish since I do them every year, like go to a concert, visit another country, go to the cinema, trying a new coffee shop, and some of them are more challenging, like try a pottery class, reach my weight goal, or completely design my first shop collection. But I also have to put here some fun ones that I saw online, like go on a date, have a kind, cute, funny and rich boyfriend, because why not? Or even catching up with One Piece, the anime, because I started that long journey this year and I'm very behind. I saw some people doing the bingo about things that they think are going to happen that year, mainly related to celebrities, and I think they are so fun. Some do the bingo related to a specific month like February because of Valentine's Day, or they do a self-care bingo. Some do for a specific season like autumn. So you have many different types of bingos to choose from, and like me, you can come up with your own prompts. Next, we have a very important spread for some people, which is the goals and reflections. Honestly, the way I use my goals depends entirely on my mood. Sometimes I really focus and try to reach my goals, and sometimes I go with the flow, because I don't want to pressure myself, and if I can't complete a goal, I don't want to feel like I didn't accomplish anything. So the goals for me are more like a guideline. I don't have to follow them to a T, but it's there if I want to. So I made 3 sections. One is for my career goals, which involve YouTube and my future shop. Then I made one for my financial goals, which I think are easier for me because I like to save a lot, so that helps. And then also a section for personal goals, which I still have to think about. This one can be about health, making new friends, going out a little more, just general things that are related to you. And then for the reflections, I just left the entire page empty for me to write anything that I want. It can be about 2025 or anything in specific. And now we can continue to the next spread. This one I saw Erin Smith doing in her mystery journal, and since I never did a spread like this, I wanted to try myself, so I completely recreated her own spread. I'm going to leave her YouTube channel linked down below if you want to check it out. This is the Cashflow. Here I'm going to record my savings, my spendings, my budgets, everything related to my own money. So to start, I made a Dutch door because the next spread is also related to the cash flow, so they stay in the same place. And after I decorated each side of the spread, I can start doing the tables. The first one is for my goals, so my financial goals can also be written here, or if I have a specific number that I want to achieve, this is the place to do it. Next to it, I have a table for my income, so everything that I earn in each month. Here I can put my salary from both my 8 to 5 job and also my YouTube. Then on the other one I have my savings, so everything that I can put aside from each month is recorded here, and I write on the top the opening balance, so what I have right when I start, and in the bottom I have the total change, so all the money that I added. And finally, on the table all the way to the right, we have my bills. So contrary to the income, which is all the money that comes in, here is all the money that goes out. I stamped all the table titles and the letters for each month, and since I had space for a bigger title on the top, I decided to do the font with the alcohol markers again, and it really made a difference. Then I decorated the bottom of this spread with some stickers, so now we can do the other side of the Dutch door. This one is only going to have two tables. One is for my budget, so on one column I can write what the budget is for, and on the right column I can write how much is that budget, and I have space for quite a few. Then on the table of the right page I have my spending log. So on the top row I am going to write the months, and on the column I'm going to write what things I spent my money on, and again I have space for many things. I actually forgot to stamp the month letters. I only realized that after filming, but don't worry, they are going to be there. And while I was doing the lines, I smudged the pen because I forgot that this one takes a while to dry, so to fix it I used a white paint marker, and this helped a lot. For the decoration, this spread is not my favorite at all, but I'm not very bothered by it because this is going to be hidden anyway most of the time. It's just going to be visible whenever I use it, so it's completely fine. Next, I have a spread that is a little more niche. This one is going to be my content planner. This is a spread that I've been doing for a while now, and it helps me a lot with my YouTube schedule, especially if I have videos for brands. So basically, I have a little section on the top for any ideas that are out of my usual schedule. For example, it can be a stationery haul, a yearly flip through, or anything else that I don't do regularly. Then below that and on the right page, I have a table. From left to right, I have the video title, then if it is for a brand, if it's recorded, edited, if I did voiceover, and the date I'm planning to publish it. The date in particular is very useful for me because for brands I have to give a specific date, or they ask for a specific date for the video to go up, so this way I can track that and make sure I'm on top of it. Again, this is very niche, not everyone is a content creator, but you can also use this in other ways, like for example for school projects. You just have to change the titles on the table to match the progress, and that's it. Moving on, I have a very similar layout to the previous one. This is my waiting on spread. This one is the most easy and simple layout to set up. It consists on a table, the same one on both pages, and it's a spread made to track my online purchases. So when I buy something online, I can write when I made the purchase and then when it arrived. And this is useful for when I'm buying from a new store, for example, and I want to see how long it takes for the package to arrive. Because in the future, if I want to order from the same store, I already know how long it takes. And this is also useful for pre-orders, so I don't forget them, and also for tracking the packages from my collab brands, so I know when to expect them. That's why from left to right on the table I have the item, if it's from a brand, the date I bought, and the date it arrived. We are now on the last spread of this setup, and this one is a mix of things. On the left page I have a section for my wish list, so anything that I want I can write it here, and that helps me doing a more conscious purchase. For example, sometimes we buy something in the spur of the moment and later on we don't really have a use for it, so when I write what I want I can wait and see next month if I still want it. If I do, then I buy it. If I don't, I take it off the list. The other use for this section is my birthday or Christmas. So let's say my family or friends ask me what I want as a gift, I can refer to this list and tell them. If it's something more expensive, I give it to myself as a gift. Yes, I do it because why not give yourself a little present? Then below the wish list we have another niche section. This one is my social tracker. It's basically a really small table with the months of the year on the columns and 3 rows made for my social media platforms such as Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. At the beginning of each month, I write here the numbers of the followers I have on each platform, and then at the end of the month I can see my growth. Honestly, I don't really care about any other platform except YouTube. I prefer doing long-form content and I love my audience here, and I hate doing reels or TikToks, so I'm really terrible at being consistent there. But nevertheless, I like to see it at the end of the year. Then for the right page I have the gifts. So instead of my gifts, here I write anything that I think my family or friends will like, or anything that they say they want throughout the year. So when their birthdays or Christmas rolls around, I already know what I can buy for them. This one helps me a lot, especially for my mom, dad and best friend, since they are my special ones, and I can always be a little bit more creative and thoughtful when I'm buying a gift for them. Then the next spread is going to be for my vision board, so anything that I'm manifesting for 2026, which is private and I'll do off camera, and the other one is an extra spread in case I need to add something else to the initial setup. And now it's time for the final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like, subscribe and comment down below a flower emoji, it can be anyone, to let me know you watched it till the end. Also, don't forget to check out Arrtx and their markers in the description down below, because they helped a lot on creating this theme that came out way better than I was expecting. This theme is honestly one of my favorite setups. I really love this more muted color palette with a few pops of brown and green. I think it looks beautiful and it's so soft on the eye. I can't wait for 2026. I'm really excited to see what the new year brings to me and for all of you. It's for sure going to be an amazing year full of beautiful setups and incredible books, because you guys know I have to read incredible books. Let's all manifest that into the universe. Thanks again Arrtx for sending me these amazing markers, and I hope you guys have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!